So really, I thank the Ugandans for fighting this war by listening to the advice. I thank the people in the villages especially for their vigilance. They don't allow anybody new in their area, and those who come are promptly reported. That's how, for instance, we got the Murundi refugee who had run out of Nyachivare refugee camp, gone to Tanzania, and they had tried to come back, but the village opposed him. I think he ended up in Rakai, where they handed him to the health authorities, and he's one of the 79 cases that have proved positive. These efforts of prevention have given us good results. We have been testing people every day, starting on the 21st of March. I have the list here day by day. I've been reading you this list whenever I come on the radio. But not to repeat the whole story, I can read you, for instance, the last few days, starting on the 20th of April, the 20th of April, we had, they tested 1,177, only 2 were positive. Following day, 21 April, 1,019, only 1 was positive. 22nd, 1,296, 2 were positive. 23rd was the bad day, where we tested 1,331, and 11 were positive. 24th, 1,533, 1 was positive. 25th, 1,400, nobody was positive, and so on. But my staff here mixed it up a bit because I wanted to separate Ugandans from the others. But this is total. I want the Ugandans alone. So up to now, we have tested a big number. The ones who are positive are only 79, and the negative are 12,389. Now, but within this, the Ugandans, within the 79, the Ugandans are 52. There's 1 Canadian, 1 Indian resident, 2 Chinese, 1 Murundi, 9 Kenyans, and 13 Tanzanians. But in the last 3 days, if you can get me the list of the last 3 days, separate, not mixing, you will see that in Uganda we have been getting 0, 0, 0. get me that before I finish. Write it for me. Because like yesterday, I think yesterday it was 0, no negative for both Ugandans and even the truck drivers, I think yesterday. But the day before, it was 0 Ugandans, something small for the truck drivers, and another day, if they can get me the ones of the last four days, separate drivers from the Ugandans. So, you have been hearing, when you watch these international televisions, they will tell you about these curves, how in other countries, the curves have been going up, steep. You get one today, next day the positive are 10, next day they are 20, so the curve is almost 70 degrees up. But ours has been very flat, very flat. That means that there's been no big increment day by day. And for this really, I want to congratulate the Ugandans, because you are the ones who fought this war. Now, the question is, we are getting, within Uganda, we are getting 0, 0, 0 in the last few days, as they will show you. They will bring in a few minutes. But does it mean that we have defeated the disease inside Uganda? I don't want to rush to that conclusion. But what is clear is that this big number of the people who have tested, the ones who are negative and the few that are positive, incidentally, within the 52 Ugandans who are positive, you should also get me the number of the ones who came from outside, the returnees. The one who is working on it, work on it quickly. Atwine, you sort it out. Of the 52, how many were the returnees? What do you call them in your language? The returnees, the ones, the imported. What are they called? Huh? No, the language of the medical. The imported cases. So the way the health people handle it, the imported cases, when they get here, they get in contact with some people. Those are called contacts. And then if the contacts get in touch with other contacts, that would become secondary. Would it be secondary or what? Contacts of contacts. And then the third level?
Community transmission. Community transmission.
Then there they say, obulwadde butuyingiddemu buyingidde bantu. That's why they call it community transmission. Tebukyali nti buze buzi naye kati butuyingiddemu. So you remember when we started, I told you about our bush technique. In the bush there, in order to survive, one of the techniques we used was muhuname. Muhuname, once you suspect something, you say musirike. In Unyankole, you call it muhuname. Keep quiet. Stand, don't move, don't talk, don't cough, just listen. And really, when you stop moving, because when you are moving, you are in the grass, you are making noise. But I'm going to call it enshwagara. You are in the grass. You can't hear well. But when you stop, you don't talk, maybe you squat, you hear well. That's what we have been doing since the 18th of March. And this konama, this okusirikirira, tumusirike, wetugamba mu Luganda, is already showing us where the problem is. Because we are now able to hear that, the truck drivers, that's where the noise is coming from. Okawuza, the one walking in the grass. When you keep quiet, then you will hear the one who is walking in the grass. Or okawuza, the one who is hitting the grass. So, with the kusirikirira, the keeping quiet, not moving, the discourse, the what, the church which was here, which was stopping you from hearing, the gospel church here in Nomogara, I think that is Tumuini's church, everything is quiet. So we are now able to see, it seems within the returnees, things are quiet. The ones who return, we seem not to be getting new cases from them. Their contacts, we seem not to be getting anything from the ones they contacted. We seem not to be getting new cases. And there are no new cases in the society. No new cases for the last so many days. So what does that mean? There are three possibilities. One possibility could be there are no more cases in the country. That could be one possibility. And that would be wonderful news. The only cases that are coming from the truck drivers. The truck drivers. That could be one possibility. The second possibility could be that the people are being infected, but they are not getting sick. They are infected, but they don't get sick. Now, according to my people, that is also good, I hear. If people are getting infected, they are not getting sick, they are overcoming the virus. That means they are getting immunity. That means in future, when the same problem comes, they will fight it better. But there could be another possibility that some of the people are dying. They are dying from coronavirus or something. Coronavirus is contributing, but people think, that one after all had blood pressure. It's the one which killed him, not knowing that coronavirus also added. We call it okufura. When something is weak, I think the English would call it giving a coup de grace, to finish off somebody who is already sick. So therefore, in the remaining days, because you remember that we are in the shutdown up to the 5th of May. So in these remaining days, our experts are going to study more. This when we don't hear something clearly, corona, from the villages, what does it mean? Does it mean that the transmission, what they call transmission, as if they are transmitting electricity, You know, that's why I never, I try to encourage my people to use understandable language. When you say transmission, somebody thinks that maybe you are transmitting electricity. But what they mean is oksiga. Oksiga, in Uganda, to infect. It could mean that the infections are no longer spreading, or they are spreading but people are not getting sick, or that people are dying, but corona is contributing to some dying, but people think it is something else. So how are we going to confirm the situation? Now, for one of the points above, which is being infected but not getting sick, the world, and even our own people here, is trying to develop an antibodies test to test the antibodies of corona. Now, that test, I don't know how long it will take. We are struggling, our people here are struggling, and people abroad are struggling. Once that one comes, it will be able to help us to know the one who was infected but overcome the disease, because he will still be having within his system, his blood, the soldiers, the body soldiers who defend the body against infections. Then we shall be able to know that so and so got infected, overcame the sickness, who were his contacts, did they get sick? They can also be checked. It will help us to know more about the people in the country. Now, for the people who died, and people didn't know that coronavirus was involved in their death, they thought it was something else. After all, he has been sick for a long time. After all, he had this, he had that. The autopsy is the word for opening up a dead body and finding out what killed the person. But in this case, you use okogera, talking, asking, how many people died here? How did they die? Then they tell you. Then if you are suspicious, you can check. Once we have the other antibody tests, you can check the contacts of the people who died. The one who was nursing, the one who died. You come and we check you. If we found antibodies in you of corona, even if you are not sick, then we know, oh, the person who died may have died from, yes, maybe he had other sicknesses, but corona also added itself. Then in that way we can begin to know the picture. But in all this, we need to remember the starting point. Because remember the starting point when I started talking to you was that this disease is very infectious, but it is also easy to prevent, to avoid. And you may find that awareness may have helped in making our spread here to go slowly, unlike in other countries, because we are sort of aware. when we had the African, there was, when Ebola started in West Africa, we went for a summit in Malabo, Equatorial Guinea, the African Union Summit. I was really surprised. I found those people shaking hands, hugging, some even kiss. I don't know why the kiss, I have no idea. The kiss. So I said, I was very, very worried. But I didn't want to shout so much because people would think that maybe this man is arrogant. But really, really, you heard what happened in West Africa, in Sierra Leone, in Liberia, in those countries. People died and died and died because they were treating that very dangerous disease as if it's a normal thing. And I saw it in that summit of West Africa. Because me, whenever we had an outbreak here, I would announce no shaking of hands, even at the airport. His Grace the Archbishop came here. He came with all the blessings to give to me. I said, please, pass them through God. I don't have to receive. I don't have to receive them directly. You pass the blessing through God. We didn't shake hands. So this laxity can be a problem. So therefore, the first thing we need to remember is that this disease is totally avoidable. And how do I avoid it? Do not sneeze or cough in the midst of a group without blocking your nose with a tissue or with a hanky or even with your elbow. They are even saying that you can cough in your elbow rather than coughing and spraying. Secondly, do not go into the public when you are coughing or sneezing. Stay at home. And even at home, isolate yourself. Thirdly, sanitize regularly the surfaces, like here, the tables, these microphones, the phones, the door handles. Disinfect them using these disinfectants which we have, the sanitizers. 4, wash your hands. Yourself, wash your hands. Wash your hands so that if there is any virus on your hands, fortunately it is killed by soap. We studied it and we found that soap would kill this. If you scrub your hand with soap for more than 20 seconds, the virus will die, and you wash it off. Then finally, don't touch yourself. Even if you touch the virus and it stays on your hands, but you don't touch yourself in the soft parts of your body. You don't touch yourself in the mouth. You don't touch yourself in the nose. You don't touch yourself in the eyes. Then it will stay there until you wash and it goes away. So this is really the starting point. If we get this, the rest will be easy. Whatever, even now, when we seem to have covered one phase, but we should not relax on that. Now, as I said, when we announced this extension of what they call the lockdown, staying at home, we said it would end on the 5th of May. But before that day, our people are studying intensely. We shall give you the new guidelines before the date of the 5th comes, we shall give you what next. But what we shall give you will be determined by the study. The study, not supposition, not just imposing things on a situation, but on the study, studies which are being carried out quietly to know where we are in terms of the sickness. In the meantime, it is clear that one of the remaining sources of infection are the lorry drivers within Uganda, but especially between Uganda and the region and East Africa. And I'm told that the Ugandans are really quite hostile to these drivers. They are not happy with them, and they are very angry with them. Proverbs come in. Obusungu okulya amagezi. Anger to eclipse wisdom. Obusungu okulya amagezi. You are so angry that you forget reasoning. Now, for me, I always fight wars in a planned way. When I talked to you on the 18th of March, and I opened this huge, unprecedented war of saying that 15 million children go home. Very big effort. 15 million children, school children, go home. Refusing to shake the hands of the Archbishop with all the blessings he had brought from London for me. And I say, thank you very much. Pass them through, God will bring them direct. Telling the Basiram, you know the Basiram pray 5 times a day. In the mosque, they're always going to the mosque, pray. Say, please don't go to the mosque at all, not even one time. My mother, the late Esther, used to go to the church on Wednesday, okukungana, on Friday, okukungana, on Sunday, first round with us, with the ordinary Christians, then second round with Habarokore, then Sunday school. Then I said, please stop all this. The mass, the morning mass, the one which very, very early, because sometimes when I try to get Archbishop Cyprian Ruanga, His Grace, or Archbishop Wakianga in the morning, I ring, I can't get anybody. What has happened? They say, oh, this is the wrong hour to ring. They are in the mass. You must ring some other time. So, but I was able to confront you, all of you people, and say, please, all these have been our culture, our practice, our way of life, but now stop. Stop all this. These are very big decisions, and I really thank you that you agreed and you cooperated. And I remember when I met His Grace Ramadan Mubaje, he suggested, no, give us one more time, and we tusibure abasiramu, tell them that from now on I said, please, no. It is from today, because if you meet them, say goodbye to them. what if 20 people are infected there? Because we don't know where the enemy is now. So stop now. All these were very radical measures, but they were calculated measures. They were calculated measures. Because I knew these are measures which could inconvenience us, which could cause us problems, but we will survive. We will survive and be safe. Survive safely. Now, one of the survival things were the three pillars. Number one, farming will continue. So while the discos will close, while the bars will close, while the airport will close, the tourists will not come, but farming will continue. Why will it continue? Because the farmers are not concentrated. In fact, this virus is also stupid in a way, because it doesn't know that we are cleverer than it. Because it is attacking people who are concentrated and forgetting that there are others who are not concentrated and who are very useful. These are the farmers. So we said, as part of our planned war, this is a planned war. It's not an emotional war. It is not a suicidal war. It's not a kamikaze where you say, I go and I die, but I also kill the enemy. No. We shall kill the enemy and survive. This is not a kamikaze. Kamikaze were the Japanese pilots who would go and crash into enemy ships, blow them up, but they also die. No. This is not Al-Shabaab. We are not suicide bombers. We are calculative fighters. We say we shall be injured in tourism. Tourism, we shall suffer loss. We shall suffer a loss in retail business. We shall suffer loss in hotels. We shall suffer loss in this area. But here, we shall survive. Survive and even grow. Not only survive, but even grow in agriculture. So that is number one. Agriculture will, can, and should continue because it is not easily susceptible to the spread of this virus. Why? Because farmers farm in a decentralized way, in a scattered way. You find a person with his home, his family. These are the ones who produce food for us. Secondly, you remember we said the factories should continue provided they can bring their workers and camp them near the factory, either all of them or some of them. So the factories don't have to close. The only problem to sort out for the factories is to stop this going home and coming back. But if they can camp, they should continue. Then the essential services should continue. The hospitals, the electricity generation, the water, the utilities, the telephones should continue. Why? Because here the numbers are not so big, and people can organize and use secured people. The hospitals should continue. The construction sites, we said the construction sites should also continue, provided you camp near the sites. Then we said the food markets. You remember we said, let the non-food markets close, but the food markets should remain open, provided the food sellers stay in the market. And they did it. They did it. You know, you people, you have never seen Ugandans fighting, but me, I led them in many wars, and I know that there are people who can fight because there are people who are dedicated. So therefore, but one of the crucial things that had to continue was cargo. Cargo had to continue. Cargo. Emigugu. Emigugu. Cargo, this is, would you say Emigugu? Mm-hmm. The cargo had to continue. Cargo within the country and cargo between us and the neighbors had to continue. It's part of the planned survival core system. And that's what has made us survive. Because you can see electricity is on. It was only interfered briefly by the other floating island. Water is flowing. Telephones are working. Security is even better than before. All crime has stopped. So this is a planned war. It is not an emotional war. It's not a suicidal war. Now, to interfere with cargo is suicidal. Is suicidal. So, first of all, cargo by plane is easy because a plane is flown by 2 pilots, maybe 2 engineers. They come and land it at Entebbe Airport. These are accommodated in those hotels. We don't even hear about them. And they can be tested, they can be checked, they can be confined. The cargo pilots, the planes. The train, Egario Muka. Again, this is also operated by a few people. I don't know how many drivers are there. It must be 1 or 2. I don't know whether they have an engineer. That huge thing is moved by very, very few people. So therefore, the train is the best to move around cargo with minimum numbers, which are easy to check, and they stop in a few places. They don't stop anywhere, they just stop. You know where they stop? Iganga, Busembatia, very few places. The ships on the water, cargo ships, they are not passenger ships, the cargo ships. Again, they are operated by a few people, the engineers and the drivers. Now, these are the best way of how to transport cargo and do it safely with minimum risk to the population, especially now that we have this pandemic. But unfortunately, and indeed, this is what the NRM stood for. Those who are old enough remember the problem we had a little bit with some of our neighbors when we took over government, and we insisted that coffee, which was that time being exported by the government, should only be exported through the train, not the vehicles. And that's what caused the collapse of a company called Kenatco, a Kenyan company which used to carry the Ugandan coffee. It collapsed. But because of the confusion in the economics of the world, some people came and brought this idea of partially privatizing the Uganda Railways and the Kenya Railways. I don't know whether they went ahead with the Tanzanian Railways. And because of that, the train sort of went down a bit. It is still there, and we are now reviving it. And once it is fully revived, all cargo will shift from vehicles to the train and to the ships, including oil. And we are working on that. We have some locomotives. We are going to buy, locomotives are the engines which pull the trains. We are going to buy spare parts for them. There is another two which are down, which we are going to refurbish. And very soon the railway will be working properly, the old railway. We had also discussed with the European Union about repairing the line up to Pakwach, maybe even up to Kasese, the old line, as we continue discussing with the Chinese about the new railway. But until the train is fully operational, I would appeal to the Ugandans to swallow your anger, obusungu, swallow your anger, and remember amagezi. Swallow the busungu and employ the magezi. Stopping cargo is suicidal, but also unnecessary. Even the one by the lorries which are driven by these fellows who are importing the corona when we have almost cleared it inside the country. I say it is suicidal because if we stop now, how will our coffee move? If the coffee doesn't move, then why should the farmers farm? Why should they farm when the coffee is not going to where it's supposed to be? How about the tea? How about the cotton? How about the sim-sim? How about the milk? How about the cement from the factories? How about the mtaimbwa? How about the food, the sugar? Like for instance, quite a number, Kenyans are buying a lot of sugar from here. Tanzania, the other day, I was with His Excellency Magufuli's envoy for sugar. How will the sugar move? How will the maize move? How about our own things which we need? Because I will come to the economy, but we are importing a lot of in order to produce our own masks. Because you have seen now, I like this virus in a way, because it has woken us up. Because when the virus came and people started dying in Europe, some of the leaders didn't even hide. They said, the little medicine which is there, we shall keep it for our people. Oh, for your people, how about us? Say, you die, it's not our problem. Oh, thank you very much. You have told us that we pray for our call. We forget. Let everybody care for himself. Oh, very good. Very good. So I'm taking that, taking care of myself very seriously. But in order to do that, our machines, which we are importing to make the masks, to make the hydroxy chloroquine, to make the diagnostic tests, to make this, to make that, Uh-huh. Those will have to come by cargo, by the train, but also by some of the trucks. So it is absolutely suicidal to attack cargo, including this bad one of the lorries. There's no problem with the train. There's no problem with the ship. There's no problem with the plane. But the cargo, the lorry has a problem because it has got this driver who goes through our people. But for me, I strongly urge you to see how to manage him, but only eliminate him when the trains are ready, and the ships are ready, and the cargo planes are ready. That's when we shall say, please, go away, but not now. But secondly, my point is also that it's not necessary, because this driver can come. We are now going we are now saying only one driver, no longer three. It is only one, because it has come out that one driver is enough and even safer. Secondly, he must not stay in hotels, he must not stay in lodges, he must not stay in homes. He should park his vehicle in designated places, which have been designated, and that's where he parks to rest a bit and continue. Thirdly, you the Ugandans, especially our daughters, tokwata ku drive oyo muleke tumukwatako. You remember the other time we had kukwatako no takwatako. We had that. That time the NLM was saying kukwatako. But this time I'm telling you, tokwata driver, ate driver takwatako. Simple. It is simple. It's not really. It is more or less like AIDS. You know, when we had AIDS, people are saying that, when you say we have AIDS in Uganda, tourists will fear coming. Why should they fear? AIDS will not catch you if you come as a tourist to look at the animals. You come and look at the animals. Don't divert to go to other activities. AIDS will not get you. So, these truck people can come and they go wherever they are going, and we don't mix with them. So therefore, the Minister of Transport is going to really very strictly designate where they can stop, and they don't have to be a problem. So we don't have to commit the suicide of prematurely stopping the cargo before the train and the ships and the planes have become fully operational to replace the lorries. Besides, there are parts of Africa where there's no railway now. Congo, there's no railway. Within Kenya, within Uganda, within Tanzania, the railway system is there. It can be revived. But Congo, there's no railway. And Congo is one of those are our people. We cannot say you die. Because they depend on us, but we also depend on them. The products we are producing here are consumed by them. The factories are supported by them. The farms are supported by their purchasing. So there is no railway going into Congo. There is no railway going in South Sudan. There is no railway going into Rwanda. So therefore, even when the road is fully operational, we cannot do away without the cargo, the lorry. the lorry will still be there. So therefore, number one, it is suicidal to try and stop the lorries. But second, it's not necessary. You can okwewala, you can just stay away from these fellows. I am told some of our daughters had come to depend on that group. But I have told our people to look for these young people and support them to depend on themselves and not to depend on these people. Now, these truck drivers, I had a long discussion with His Excellency Kenyatta on the phone, and His Excellency Paul Kagame on the phone. I also talked to His Excellency Magufuli on the phone on a slightly different subject. But on the truck drivers, His Excellency Kenyatta and Kagame agreed that we can really have a common, our ministers of health can develop a common plan for them. They can even be tested 2 times a month. Because when the lorries are many coming to Uganda, they are like 3,000 per day. So even if you said these drivers are like 10,000 in the whole of East Africa, they can be tested 2 times a month, so that you have seen me. I am actually operating a mobile quarantine. You see, when people talk of quarantine, they only imagine stationary quarantine where you are in one place. But you have seen me during this time of the coronavirus. I have gone to Karamoja. I went to Karamoja to commission a marbles factory. I went to Nakasongora to commission a firefighting vehicle, which we have built there. The other day I was in Jinja. You see me once every 2 days or so going to Entebbe and coming back. So I move, but in a quarantined way. Why? The people, when we started the quarantine, only a number of staff were selected. There are 6 cooks in the State House. This is just an example. Only 3 will be on duty continuously, and they will not go back home to their families. The drivers, the same. The security people, the same. So although I move with these same people. Unlike in the past when they would just take turns. This one works today, goes home, another one comes to replace. So those truck drivers can have a mobile quarantine. They are moving, but in a quarantined way. And the driver isn't quarantined because he's in a vehicle. Tava motoka ye, except where he is going to rest, and then you control there also, and so it is possible to quarantine this group. They are moving, but they are moving in a controlled way, and that's what we mean by quarantining. Quarantining doesn't mean that you stay in one place. It means that whether you are moving or stationary, your movement is controlled and contained. So therefore, while stopping passengers, like we did when we said passengers don't travel, It caused a lot of inconvenience. It caused a lot of losses, business-wise, but it was not suicidal. It was not suicidal. It is survivable. Now, on the side of the economy, I really don't agree with the people I see on the TV predicting doom, saying the economy I don't agree with those. Yes, some of the sectors have been hit badly. Tourism has been hit. Hotels, retail, entertainment, but manufacturing can go up. Manufacturing can go up. You have already seen the issue of the sanitizers. I haven't got the figures, but from the demand, I don't think this is a small demand, because people who never washed are now washing their hands, and they are not only washing, they are washing many times. So what is the growth there? Soap, what is happening there? Globally, somebody pointed out that the drinking of coffee has gone up. Actually, the price of coffee has gone up a bit globally, because when people stay at home, they drink more coffee. I was discussing with the Minister Ramirama today, and we were talking about the challenges of the poultry farmers. The poultry farmers are not selling the eggs, nor are they selling the meat. Why? Because the hotels are not working. Why are the hotels not working? Because the tourists are not coming, and the socializers are not socializing in the hotels. Okay, this is bad. So I said, but don't they eat chicken at home? They said, no, at home they eat chicken, but they don't eat as much as when they are together. But that's why the African language is good. To what carry out. When that one is still happening, then people come up with new ideas. The idea is, we Africans are always kulambara, always asleep, okwebaka, nino matek. Somebody came from London and woke up our people, say, you people, you only know of eggs which are eaten only as omelette or as boiled. But you don't know that you can get other things out of eggs. If the ones who are making omelette are no longer buying, crack the egg, get the yolk out, process it, get the other part, what they call the white part of the egg, get some products out of it. Now, apparently, the yolk, a part of it is used for bakery. And we have been importing those from outside. We have our yolk here, Toro, but we import the processed yolk of others to do the baking. Apparently, they use eggs in baking. I don't know how they do it, but that's what That's what I was told. And that has been being imported. They've been importing it. I hear there's something called mayonnaise. I don't know what mayonnaise is. That it is something, but it has got some yolk in it, and they've been importing it. And now they can make it here. Then there is that the shell of the egg itself has got food values. It has got calcium. It has got this. It can be used. I don't know what here. So there are ways, alternative, and that the demand is not small for this one. Now you go to milk. You remember I had a problem for liquid milk because Kenya had quite a bit of milk. They had a surplus, but the casein in the US, the protein they get from milk, apparently the demand is very big, and it has helped us. And the powdered milk also is in high demand in some parts of the world. So therefore, while the tourism has gone down in these other sectors, manufacturing can come up. We are going to make personal protective equipment for the coronavirus, the clothes, the wear, make the medicines, make the diagnostic for the corona and other viruses, make the vaccines, the sanitizers. So there are really ways we just need to adjust. We need to adjust. We shall manage. And I was looking at the economy. Our economy grew fastest in 1994. That's when it grew at 11%. If you go back in the figures, we have never had a higher figure than that one per year. It grew by 11%. And I checked, what was the tourism in 1994? The tourists were only 147,000. So the tourism was not a major factor. And yet the economy was growing very fast. That time, actually, we sort of decelerated because of the delay of Bujagari. When there was insufficient power, that's when our economy started growing at slower rates. But in those years, it was growing at 11%, 10%, 8%, 9%. So the economy will grow even if tourism is still down. I prepared a document which I showed to the cabinet, what I entitled the real economy versus the vulnerable economy. The real economy is the economy for producing food, for producing clothing, for producing shelter, building materials, for producing medicine, for producing security equipment. This is the real economy, and for infrastructure. this one does not easily change. Even if there is a war, these things will be in demand. In fact, if there is a war, these are even more in demand than even in ordinary times. Certain sectors are vulnerable, like tourism. It's vulnerable and very sensitive. When anything happens, it goes down. But it will come back. If you handle the other side well, eventually it will come back. Now, unfortunately, during this, as I've said, I'm very, very thankful to the Ugandans. They have responded well in a combative mood to fight and defeat the virus. But we were sort of diverted by the 20 million shillings of the parliament. That really caused confusion and controversy. First of all, that 20 million is bad planning, because we had planned in a certain way, then you come and change. That's not good. There are also legal and constitutional issues involved in that issue, which I don't want to go into here, because those ones I have been discussing them with the Speaker and with the other people. I don't have to go into those here. But the third one is the moral side. It would be morally reprehensible for members of parliament to give themselves money for personal use when the country is in such a crisis. It would be morally reprehensible and totally unacceptable to me and to the national resistance movement. So when this one came, I met the Speaker here, and I said, you people, you have entered yourselves into a trap. You should get out. And the best way to get out of the trap was not spend that money on yourselves. Should not be spent on yourselves. Not as an allowance for you, not. So I agreed with the Speaker, take that money, or of course now you have already got involved, and donate it to the district task force where you come from. Because the MPs also had some issue because of the unprincipled way people do things in Uganda. Apparently there are some other politicians, local politicians, who want to compete with our present MPs, and therefore they try sometimes to marginalize them. But I told the Prime Minister was there, you can order the district task force to ensure that the MPs are also members of the district task force, so that they take part in the decision making, so that they also contribute. So once they are members, you can contribute ideas to the district task force for the corona, so that you also play a role. Therefore, take the money there, go and give it to the cow, because the accounting officers in the country are known. It is the permanent secretary, it is the district, the cow, it is the town clerk, it is the Gombora chief. In Parliament there is a clerk, she's also an accounting officer for Parliament money. So you take the money there. If you take the money there, it will limit the damage. It will limit the damage. People will know that you didn't take the money for yourself. Now, I heard that some of the MPs went and now bought things. Now, that's not good enough. Because you are not a purchasing officer of the state. The state, the Constitution of Uganda has got purchasers, people who buy things. I've been in State House here for 34 years. I have never bought even a toilet roll here that I have bought. I've never bought. It's not my job to buy. There's a buying person, I don't know who it is, controlled by the State House controller. So, I know many Ugandans are angry with this, but I appeal to you, don't be angry. This will be sorted out. Because I told the Right Honorable Speaker how to handle this. For those who took the money and gave it to the cow, to the district task force, the issue there is simply that the one of bad planning, interfering with the planning. That one is we can explain to our Ugandans. Now, the ones who bought on their own, the question is who authorized you to buy for the country, for the state? This is public money. It's not your private money. Who authorized you? Are you the purchasing officer? So I think here the Auditor General will have to come in and audit, to say you bought badly or you bought well, so that we clear this. And I appeal to Ugandans, don't be so angry and be diverted from our war. Because the MPs have already spent the money. No, even if you have spent it, you can pay it back. You can pay it back because you have your salary. You will pay it back if you spent it wrongly. So I think the way to clear up this mess is to, those who took the money and gave it to the task force at the district, I think that one day we can appeal to the Ugandans, please forget about this. They gave the money to the district. They didn't spend it on, because the bad thing is to spend it on yourself. This is the terrible, terrible, terrible thing, to spend the money on yourself. This is not acceptable. We cannot have a society like that. Now, the ones who become purchasing officers, that's when they have to sort it out with the Auditor General. You bought, what did you buy, how much, what quality was it, what procedures did you follow? Did you follow is it what PPDM or? That one I don't know. But then also the problem of interfering, because when you go to, there are some who went to distribute food now. We are in an emergency. You go to distribute, how did you distribute? Did you not contribute to the spread of the virus? If people, did you have a machinery to distribute in a safe way? Because distribution, which is done by the group in Kampala and the group in the districts, is controlled by the district health officer, by the doctor. They are the ones who say, do this, do this, do this, do this. So when you are distributing, under what structure were you using? Are you interfering with our regulations of fighting the disease? It's very, very serious. These are very serious issues. And the political leaders should be examples. Should not be people to be preached at. But I hope we shall sort it. The other day when I was going to Jinja, I couldn't stop on the way. People were stopping me. I said, no, I can't stop. Because I don't want to stop. And people gather. And somebody gets infected because of me wanting to bask in their being appreciated by the people. It is criminal. So I think we can sort that one out. But I appeal to the Ugandans not to be diverted by this. Be united as you have been united. This is easy to solve. The one who took the money to the district task force, I would appeal to you to forgive that one and say that one at least didn't spend the money on himself. The one who spent it on himself must be condemned. The one who became a purchasing officer must sort out issues with the Auditor General. Auditor General would have to come and audit how you purchased. I would write to the Auditor General, please come and help me here. See how these people purchased. Did they purchase properly or what? The one of interfering with the war against the virus by mixing with the population contrary to the regulations, I think there we can really warn them. This should be the last time. Because that's why the other fellow called Zaki had been arrested. How do you arrest Zaki for interfering with the safety, the anti-coronavirus wars, and you leave these ones of the NRM, including ministers, So this one we shall have to learn from this bad experience. I want to thank the medical workers of Uganda. Out of the 79 cases, as I speak today, 47 have been discharged. Discharged means they have been healed and they have gone home. They have gone home, and I'm told even the ones who are still in custody, they are in good condition. I have not heard that any one of them is in a very bad condition. So I must thank our health workers. They are really very skilled, knowledgeable. Sometimes I speak to them on the phone. They are leaders. They are really very capable people. I'm very proud of them. And I congratulate them. I want to thank the press. The press, they said, I heard them saying that Museveni doesn't thank us. Or is it, they are called media? Okay. I want to thank the media, they have done a good job recently. So I thank them for their contribution also. Now in the book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 133, there's a time when Abraham looked up and saw three men standing nearby. When he saw them, he hurried from the entrance of his tent to meet them and bowed low on the ground And he said, so these strangers, when Abraham saw them, he welcomed them. He didn't know them. He welcomed them. This is in the book of Genesis. He welcomed them and entertained them and fed them. He didn't know that they were angels. And because he handled them well, he got blessed. That's when his wife Sarah, who had failed to have children, was able to have Isaac. So even those Wanyankwere said, the one who entertained the angels without knowing them, without knowing that they were angels. So this is what NRM does. NRM works because we work for our country. We don't calculate that we are doing this in order to get that. No, we work because this is good for the country. As I told you last time, we have defeated 3 concurrent big crises. There's this one of the corona we are talking about, and we have seen how our doctors have responded and the country has responded, including our structure of the LCs. This structure, we didn't create it for corona. We didn't even know that corona would be there. We created it in order to empower the people. But when the crisis comes, the LCs come up and they defend the country. How would we have known a Murundi who had appeared, I don't know where, in Nachivari there, someplace. Minister of Health were not there. They wouldn't know. But the people, because of the structure, which was put there for the power of the people, were there. This water of the lake. The other day, the lake got at 13.28 meters above sea level. Even today, when you go to Entebbe there, the water is almost entering the road at Kituru. The trees which used to be on shore are now in the water there. So this water could have been a problem, as it was in 1964. But because the NRM had built a second dam without planning that for the floods, for the water, because we wanted to generate more power. When we came, there was only a Narubari Dam, this side, the one on the Uganda side. We built a new one on the Busoga side, we called it Chira, and created another canal there. Now, apparently in 1964, why the flood was able to destroy things was that through the old dam, you could only release 1,300 cubic meters per second of water. But now, because of the other additional capacity, instead of allowing 600 cubic meters per second, which is what they were allowing before this crisis came, by yesterday morning, I think they had gone to 2,400 cubic meters per second. And yet the water is rising. So you can imagine if we did not have that capacity, which we did not plan, which we planned for a totally different purpose, all these showers will be flooded now. So the one who entertained the angels without knowing them, the one who did things without knowing that it should. Then the locusts. The locusts have caused so much mayhem in parts of Africa. They come here. We wait for the smaller plane of the desert. Locust doesn't come. The army moves in. And we defeat the locusts. So I really want to congratulate the the NRM leaders, the historical leaders, the current leaders, for working for their country as they see fit at any given moment, but it produces results even for things you have not foreseen. What helped when the dam was attacked by the floating island, the wonderful equipment we bought from Japan came in and cleared the floating island. We didn't hire, we didn't what? The equipment was there. We didn't buy it to clear the floating island. We bought to work on the road, but it is there in the country. The capacity is there. And I must also, when I look at the medical, when you see the engineers, you see the medical people, you see the scientists, like the ones who are doing the research now for this disease. I can also not fail to thank some of my allies. There's one ally called UPC. Because although we had differences with them, and we had some all sorts of issues we had to sort out, but I must bear witness that when you see all these educated Ugandans, our UPC comrades also played something. Because when we got independence, like by the time I went to Ntare in 1961, out of 40 teachers, there were only 2 Africans in the secondary school. Only 2. I remember their names. Everybody was white. In the hospital, everybody was white. It was only Dr. Mzera, the first African whom I saw there as a doctor. For engineers, for what? So, but when we got independence, first of all, they expanded the secondary schools. Like if I talk about the Ankole region alone, Mbara High School became a secondary school. Bwerenyanji Girls became a secondary school. Chitunga became a secondary school. These are the ones I know well in my head. By 1965, they had increased. Those Chewambe became a secondary school. These were normally junior secondary, but they put them forward. Merehir became a secondary school. So they expanded secondary education, not as much as we have done, but they also did their contribution. So therefore, we were building capacity, but this capacity comes in. I can tell you these three problems: the corona, the water of Lake Victoria, the locusts. If we do not have this organic capacity, they could have been a very big problem. So that's why really I want to congratulate everybody who contributed. Now, among my assignments, I am assigned by the East African Summit to sensitize East Africans about the need for the East African Federation. The need for the East African Federation. I was given this assignment in Arusha last time, and the summit appointed a committee to draft a constitutional proposal headed by our former Chief Justice Benjamin Odoki, with all the members from all the other states. And when I was looking at this coronavirus, and the way we are struggling with the drivers, with this one, even with the water itself, because the water is also East African. It's not really Ugandan. This water you see here is very East African. So and when we try to manage it only as Ugandan, then we get into all sorts of problems. The desert locusts are also East African. So the problems are East African, but we are trying to manage them as Ugandan when they are not really just Ugandan. So when I remembered, I said, now, if I get a chance to go to the TV again, because the TV are always showing nothing. They're always showing people who are jumping, sitting down. So I said, why don't I? This is, you have to take this picture. This is the Uganda August of November. Of November 1964. This is the paper of 1964. This is a summit. Mzee Obote, the rebel leader from Congo, Christopher Gebei, Mzee Kenyatta, and Nyerere, Mwalimu Nyerere. They are talking about the East African Federation. And I would like to, but you should get me another copy. This is a later copy. This is the one of earlier, the one of 1963. You should get it for me. So if the Federation had succeeded that time, East Africa now would be, I suspect, would be where India is today. If you see where India is today, I think East Africa will be where India is today. If you look at the avoidable problems, because if the East African Federation had been formed at that time, Idi Amin would never have come to power. East Africa would not have allowed it. The massacres of Burundi would never have happened because East Africa would not allow it. If we are together, we are very strong. The problems of Congo would never have gone on the way it was, because you can see Gebei was also here. And East Africa would have helped in that issue of Congo. The issue of South Sudan would not have taken the time it took. The problem of Rwanda, the genocide which took place there, would never have happened. And even today, as we are managing these crises, locusts, water, virus, it will be much easier to manage them in a consolidated way. So, in my job as a champion for the East African Federation, I thought I should use this occasion to remind the Bazukuru, who are always talking about California, about Miami, that there is a Miami beach. Have you heard of Miami Beach? Which is being flooded by water. I saw it in the paper. They always are after everybody except themselves. So, the Bazukuru, please, you have got a job to do, to work with your other East Africans, to see whether you can unite yourselves so that it is easy. Because you see, we are now stuck. What God has put together, man should not put asunder. God is the one who said East Africa is one. The bedroom is Uganda. The sitting room is Kenya. The other sitting room is Tanzania. The other big bedroom is Congo. The inner room is South Sudan. How will you get to the gate without going through? This is where the problem we are having now. How do you manage a house of 5, 6 rooms or 7 rooms, each room separately? Because they are linked. To go from here to there, you must, what do? Why don't you find a way of how you manage this house together as a unit? Because if you say, because now we have swept Corona from here now, from the bedroom, we have swept, I think we have swept somehow. But from the sitting room, which from the sitting room. So what are we going to do? This is what Marimu was telling us, that please, in order for you people to be strong, you should unite. When Marimu told our people, they thought, oh, Marimu wanted to be president of East Africa. That's why he's campaigning for it. Well, Marimu is long dead. These Banyarwanda Barundi have an interest in these Bantu languages, have interest in words. Apparently, the one who dies, they say, Nyakwigendera, the one who went his own ways. That's what they call the late. They call him Nyakwigendera, the one who went away. So Mwalimu told you, you didn't listen, he went his way. He's resting in peace, and people are thinking, we are debating, the Pope is seeing how to make him a saint. You are now the ones fighting with the coronavirus now, in your fragmented way. We are the ones struggling with the problems. Mwalimu talked, you didn't listen to him, you thought he wanted, I don't know what, he went away. You are the ones who are inheriting these problems. Now, this lockdown apparently is making the families stay together, which are normally never together. You have not been seeing one another with your with your dear husband and dear wife and dear this, but now Baba Sivide Wamu. You are now tied together. And I'm told that actually there's some problems, some fights, some of the groups are fighting because they have been avoiding one another all this time. So, but I would really like to, one day I will get time and talk more about it. Really, you cannot have a country without families. Families are the building block of countries. And having strong families is part of building a strong country. So of course, we need a big discussion with the traditional groups and the religious leaders. But there could be some minimums which could be distilled in those discussions when we have the time. one of the crucial things about the family are the children. Whatever issues you have among the adults, they should never affect the children. If the children are sheltered, they are protected, then you will have a strong family. But I think through dialogue, we should also get a minimum about the relationship among the adults themselves. Because the frictions and so on are due to the way issues are managed. Because traditionally, there were clear do's and don'ts in the traditional families. Now, things are not so clear. They are a bit vague. They say love one another, love this. It's vague. We shall get time and talk about that. But I hear this is quite a challenge. We shall get time and talk about that. That when you are now together, there are quite a bit of fights. Actually, there is some talk that if you don't lift this lockdown, you may get some pressure cooker. People who cannot stomach one another. So really, we need to also debate that issue of the families, Now, before the 5th of May, I will come with a comprehensive plan for the way forward. What I was telling you here today are simply the simple information about where we are now. I think the figures they were looking for me, which they have brought now, like if you take yesterday, 27th, truck drivers who were tested from the border points were 2,557. And there was no one who was positive, and the negative were 2,238. But this does not cover everybody. It means some of the results have not yet come out. Huh?
Those are the quarantine and community who were tested were 200?
No. The 2,557, then the negative are 2,238. There's a balance there which is not clear. But there was nobody who was positive. That was yesterday. Now, among the Ugandans, since the 23rd, we have not had anybody who is positive. 23rd, it was 0. 24th, it was 0. 25th, it was 0. 26th, it was 0. 27th, it was 0, which was yesterday. And the whole of this week, actually, starting 14th, for the Ugandans, starting with 14th, it was 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. We had one on the 20th, a Ugandan, within the Ugandans. We had one on the 20th, then 0, 21st, and then we had one on the 22nd. Otherwise, for almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. For 14 days, we have had only positive 2 times. So that's very interesting. This is for the Ugandans. But for the drivers, the ones who are coming, we have been having, the biggest we had was on 23rd, which was 11 at one go. Otherwise, we had 0 yesterday, 4 26th, 0 25th, then 1 1, then that is the situation. So if one looks at this, one would be tempted to say that the imported cases and the people they interacted with, well, these are the ones we are dealing with mainly. The one they interacted with who are called contacts, it seems that we don't have the positive ones. And then the others are what the health people call alert. Alert are the ones who feel concerned and they volunteer. You come and check me. All these are negative as far as the Ugandans are concerned. So that's what I was telling you, that the front line is now with the truck drivers, really. This is the real front line. I thank you, and I wish you good luck. The questions? Or donations? Okay. Well, come and show me the donations, Nani. Oh, they are here. Oh, I want to thank the donors. His Highness Chabazinga of Busoga brought 85 million. His Highness Domkamo of Toro brought maize flour 21 tons, beans 14 tons, matoke worth 8.8 million, cassava worth 2 million, charcoal worth 700,000 shillings. Kamswaga of Kochi, matoke 630 bunches, worth 15 million, and sanitary to Rakai district. Gilbert Bukenya, our former vice president, 4 tons of maize. Honorable Anita Mong, again, she had contributed before, 5 tons of rice. Democratic Party, my old party, before we were cheated by the Rugundas. That's why I laugh when I hear them saying DP without Museveni. So my old party, the Democratic Party, 5 tons of maize flour. Uganda heads of missions abroad, female ones, abachara, ambassadors. 6 tons of Chibimba rice, Ambassador Nimisha Madvani, 1.8 million shillings, EcoBank, 80 million shillings, Isuzu Mark East Africa, 80 million shillings, Bidco Uganda Limited, 70 million shillings, and soap 4,292 cartons, Rusango Rio, Uganda, 20 million shillings. Katweni Import and Export Company. Katweni. 12 million shillings. OC International Trading, 10 million shillings. Kalung Processors, 10 million shillings. East African Fish Processing Uganda, 7 million shillings. Rongzang, Uganda Limited, 7 million shillings. Pengilida International Limited, 6 million shillings. Run FA Company Limited, 6 million shillings. Yongkiang Seafood, 6 million shillings. Hongli Zhongguo, 6 million shillings. Shengfat Trading, 6 million shillings. Wish AST, 6 million shillings. Compassion International, 1.2 billion shillings. As assistance to partner churches across the country. TriStar Energy, 380 million shillings. But lots of science and technology, 234 million shillings. Support from Bara Regional Hospital, very clever. So you keep it in house. Sanlam, 285 million shillings. Ben Lukuyu International, 17 Livestock Research Institute, 190 million shillings. Standard Chartered Bank, 113 million shillings. Nightil, 100 million shillings. Bed sheets, 1,000 pairs. Face masks, 1,000 pieces. Pearl Marina Estates, 100 million shillings. Bakuresa Grain Milling. This is a group based in Tanzania, but they are also operating here. 100 million shillings and baking flour, 2.4 tons. Trade Property Development, 76 million shillings. Bidco Uganda, 70 million shillings. Aga Khan Development Network, Jubilee, 55 million shillings and face mask, 1,000. Medicine, 44 cartons. Ugakov, 50 million shillings. China International Water, 50 million shillings. Uganda Forex Bureau and Money Remittance Association, 20 million shillings. Uganda Cooperative Alliance, 20 million shillings. Rock Telecom, 20 million shillings. Saba Engineering something, 20 million shillings. Philip Kakuru NRM Mobilizer South Africa, 20 million shillings. Gulf Africa, 15 million shillings. Galaxy Agrotech, 15 million shillings. Max Imports and Exports Limited, 10 million shillings. International Engineering Corporation, 10 million shillings. Great Lakes Coffee, 10 million shillings and 2,000 coffee packets of coffee. Institution of Surveyors Uganda, 10 million shillings. National Insurance Corporation, 10 million shillings. Industrial Globus, 10 million shillings. Royal Mabati, 10 million shillings. Sanja Agrochemicals, 10 million shillings. Best Ceramics, 10 million shillings. Public Administrators Association of Uganda, 10 million shillings. Max Imports and Exports, 10 million shillings. Lake Bounty Group, brand new pickup, Tata single cabin. They have given the Tata single cabin. This is a brand new pickup called Lake Bounty Group. Local Construction, our son, brand new double cabin pickup worth 190 million shillings. The Meta Group Management, 3 double cabin pickups, Hilux, and 135 temperature guns. What are those? Oh, these ones. Oh, good. MTN Uganda, 3 double cabins pickups. General Machinery, 2 double cabin pickups. Huh? I read it before. Here. or another time. It's all right. I can read them again. Don't worry about Crown Beverages Limited, Skora, one double cabin, Ford, Metu Zongtong Bus Industries, Metu Katabazi. This is our Munyambo from here near Isinyo. One Isuzu pickup, Tata Uganda, one Tata truck, 11 tons. Pakistan Community ambulance fully equipped. Kazinga Channel Office World, one Dell laptop, one Dell desktop and monitor, one copy and stabilizer. Sumi Nabagereka, deep freezer. The Grain Council of Uganda, one double cabin pickup on maize seeds 10 tons. Pearl Flowers, one bus, 32-seater. Nairo Fishing Company, life jackets, 2 Yamaha motorcycles. Principals Association of Uganda, 7.2 million shillings. Mountains of Fire and Miracles Ministries, 6 million shillings. The registered trustees of the Arya Pratinidi, Sabah, Eastern Africa, 5 million shillings. Capital Limited, 5 million shillings, and Maize Flour, 2.1 million. Magnet Construction, 5 million shillings, and Maize Flour. Nigerian Community in Uganda, 5 million shillings. Honorary Council General of Serbia, 5 million shillings. Pastor 7 Vincent, Ebenezer City Church, Hoima, Matoke, worth 1.5 million to Hoima District. Intertax Parks, Stages, 5 million shillings. Chance for Children in Mitiana, 5 million shillings. Hema Beverages, maize flour 1 ton, drinking water 2,000 boxes, sanitizer 500 liters. Indian Women Association, 10 million shillings. Signify Phillips and Dembe Group, Denism Refugee Council, 920 million shillings worth of solar lighting for health centers. 4 Ways Investment Limited in partnership with Tobani, 10 million shillings and 100 bicycles. Uganda Institutional Professional Engineers, 8,175,000. Rotary District 9211, Uganda, Tanzania. Test kits and reagents wash facilities. Kalangwa Moses Kalisa, NRM chairman for Kayunga, 5 million shillings. Thank you, Kalangwa. Kalangwa. Ron Pictures International, 1 million shillings. Julius Ankunda Kandoho, 1 million shillings and 12 cooler boxes. Shan Electric Engineers, maize flour, 4.8 tons. Ryder Hotel Seta Mukono, maize flour, 3 tons. Chankwan's Kada, hand sanitizers worth 4 million shillings. The family of the late Kosam Ntungamu Chamafe, Mrs. Kansi Mesara, cassava flour, 100 kilograms. Seventh-day Adventist Church Uganda Union, maize flour, 10 tons. Team Thara YMK 2021, maize flour, 1 ton. Angenois Disco, Maize flour 12.5 tons. Abubakar Technical Services, maize flour 16 tons. Mega Standard Supermarket, maize flour 25 tons. Central Motorsports, maize flour 400 kilograms, rice kilograms 200, beans 205 kilograms, soap 500 bars. BAPS Charities, beans 1.5 tons, cooking oil 1,000 liters, rice 1 ton. Simi Mobile Uganda, maize flour 2.1 tons, beans 1.3 tons, mobile phones 200 pieces. World Islamic Core Society, maize flour 54 bags. Zongding maize flour 20 tons. Zongkai Electronics maize flour 2 tons. Maria's Cargo maize flour 287 bags. Greenfields Breeds maize flour 10 tons. Sheraton Staff maize flour 100 kilograms, rice 100 kilograms, beans 50 kilograms. Par rice 10 tons. Every general investment, rice 100 kilograms, sugar 175 kilos, soap, and so on. Eurochick eggs 4,000 trays. Beans Capolto International eggs 2,167 trays. UGACHIC eggs 500 trays. Africa Oil milk Lato 75 cartons. Wagawa Mixed Farm milk 1,000 liters. Legit Bar Entertainment Restaurant milk UHT 650 cartons. Mineral water 200 cartons. Water tanks 10 pieces. Coogis milk 2,000 liters. Mama Care Foundation Nutri-Meal 5,400 pieces worth 24 million shillings. Gonze Packaging paper cups 4,000. The Bible Society of Uganda assorted audio and written Bibles worth 65 million. Pep Stores clothing 10,000 units worth 66 million shillings. Uganda Brilliant Pyro Industry blankets 400 pieces. Euroflix Limited Euroform mattress 75 pieces. Pillow 75 pieces. Davies and Shortleaf chloroquine tablets 1,000. Good Brother International Limited face masks 1,000. Temperature gun 25 pieces. Crest tanks hand wash cans 50 pieces. Hand wash stand 50 pieces. Vigor Herbal Antibacterial Soap 5,000 pieces. AR Healthcare Liquid Soap 2,000 liters. Megan Brothers Soap 1,500 cartons. Solar Compound Dembe Trading Enterprises. Solar Compound Outdoor Light 42 pieces. Solar Portable Lanterns 810 pieces. Solar Indoor Systems 72 pieces. Europa Engineering Limited wheelchair 1 piece. Personal protective equipment. Desline 50 injectables. Vitamin C 100 packets. Sugar Queen 50 packets. This is Camcare Pharma. Camcare Pharma. Camcare Pharma. Kyoga Dynamics infrared thermometer 40 pieces. Medical goggles 200 pieces. Medical suit 200 pieces. Living goods printing of IEC materials worth 2,000 pieces. Industries, deionized water, Metasol. Then medicated soap. Medicive pharmaceuticals. Paracetamol 5 cartons. Sanitizers, 100 bottles. Motorbike East Africa, 5 motorcycles. Nairobi Enterprises, nebulizer compressor, 2 pieces. Personal protective equipment, 30 pieces. Face mask, 500 pieces. Pharmaceutical Society of Uganda, jerry cans of disinfectant, 15 pieces. Bottles of hand gel, 300 pieces. Sanugit, advanced disinfectant medicine bottles of disinfectant. Sayo Industries, large biohard bags, 2,000 pieces. Sign Africa Medical, mosquito nets, 1,000 pieces. Supermedic examination gloves, 5,000 pieces. Surgical face masks, 4,000 pieces. Paracetamol, 60,000 tabs. Tamale family, crowd hand washing sink, 2 pieces. Gas water boiler, 1 piece. Milk boiler, 1 piece. Tika Limited, care of Mr. Yahaya Achu. Food packages, 500 pieces. Bicycles, 50 pieces. Well of Life, 100 cartons of soap. Steel and Tube, 1 motorcycle. Simba Automotive, 1 tricycle. Tukutuku, 1 motorcycle. Unabek, National Engineering, Civil Engineering Contractors. This one they have not indicated. Afrobuild Uganda, maize flour, 1 ton, beans, half a ton. Ambitious Construction, maize flour, 1 ton, beans, half a ton. Arab Contractors, maize flour, 1.8 tons. Ampas Technical Services, beans, 1.9 tons. Assured Engineering Services, maize flour, 1 ton. Barbican, maize flour, half a ton. Cementers, maize flour, 1.5 tons, beans, half a ton. China Wuyi Limited, beans, 2 tons. Coil Limited, maize flour, 3 tons. Maize, DA Truck Limited, maize, 1 ton. Dakosi Limited, maize flour, half a ton. Dot Services, maize flour, 5 tons. Dynaco Limited, beans, 1 ton. Epsilon Uganda, maize flour, 1 ton. Excel Construction Limited, maize flour, 2 tons, beans, 3 tons. Heat General Contractors, maize flour, 1 ton, beans, 0.5, half a ton. Kalk Technical Services, maize flour, 1 ton. Kasese Nail and Wood Industry, maize flour, 2 tons. Malt Uganda Limited, maize flour, 0.2 of a ton. Mantrak Uganda, maize flour, 1.8 tons. Measurement Solutions, 0.5 of a ton. Motor Angel and Fadia Africa, maize flour, 1 ton. Beans, 0.8 of a ton. Muma Construction Limited, maize flour, 0.5 of a ton. Rodo Contractors, maize flour, 1 ton. Local Construction, maize flour, 7.5 tons, beans, 2.5 tons. Sanix Technologies, maize flour, 0.2 tons, beans, 0.2 tons. Sayan International, maize flour, 1 ton, beans, 0.5 tons. Spider Contractors, maize flour, 0.5 tons. Starting Civil Engineering Limited, maize flour, 1 ton, beans, 0.9 tons. Stone Construction Limited, maize flour, 1 ton, beans, 0.4 tons. Technical Masters Limited, maize flour, 0.2 tons. Technical 3, maize flour 1 ton, beans 0.5 tons. Tedmark Engineering Works, maize flour half a ton. Terrain Services, maize flour 1 ton, beans 1 ton. Free Measurement Solutions, free calibration services for the infrared thermometer calibration to the Ministry of Health. Free calibration services for the infrared thermometer calibration to the ministry. They will mark your thermometers for you. Ugandan Somali Community Care, maize flour 40 tons. Uganda Flour Exporters Association, maize flour 40 tons. Balam, on behalf of General Mhozi, friends and supporters, beans 2.5 tons, 1,500 bags given to the groups directed by the donor in presence of Task Force, 1,000 bags for central stores. ADH Group, maize flour 20 tons. Complant Engineering Limited, maize flour 12 tons. To Bukoma Simbi medical masks, 10,000, 3,000 delivered, 70,000 to be delivered. Protection suits, 200 to be delivered. Innovative research and development, applicator 20 kilogram capacity, 1 piece. Applicator 5 kilogram capacity, 1 piece. Applicator 1 kilogram capacity, 1 piece. Applicator kilogram 3 pieces. Capacity helmet 5 pieces. Overalls 5 pieces. Rubber boots 5 pieces. Gloves 20 pieces. Particle face mask 10 pieces. Mkwano Industries, washing soap 2,500 bars, mineral water 2,000 bottles, basins 1,000 pieces, multipurpose liquid soap 1,000 liters, heavy duty packets 50 pieces. Record TV, Corona SOS smartphone application phase 1 worth 350 million shillings. Outcome communication videos worth 5 million shillings. XK Limited face masks 1,500 pieces. Baby cool through Uber Hut, maize flour 2.5 tons, maize flour 1,000 bags, beans 250 bags, beans 100 bags. Kogarana Group, Sanje, passion fruits 42 bags worth 2 million shillings. Uganda Association of External Recruitment Agencies face masks 30,000 pieces. World Vision, reusable N95 masks 482 pieces. Saraya sanitizers 2,490 liters. Infrared thermometers 335 pieces. Safety goggles 490 pieces. Scrub suit 50 pieces. Ahmed Raza, Food Industries, Home Baking, 25 cartons. Cracker biscuits 1 bag. NSSF test kit 5,000 pieces. 381 million shillings protective equipment. Damba Nicholas, aspiring minister, 12,000 shillings. Romco International, canisters of Toko gas, 200 pieces. Seat on top cookers, 70 pieces. Standalone burners, 30 pieces. Uganda Bankers Association, personal protective equipment worth 240 million shillings. Production of test kits worth 200 million shillings. Leisure farm, 500 birds. Birds are they chicken or what? 500 chicken. Global Healthcare Foundation, personal protective equipment worth 3,000. Maybe 3,000 pieces. Indian Association of Uganda, maize flour, 1,235 kilograms, beans for 28 kilograms. Uptake Africa, torches 500. United Pharmaceuticals, hand washing liquid 1,100 jerrycans, and washers 10 jerrycans. Philips Pharmaceuticals, portable ultrasound machine worth 60 million shillings. Oryx Energies, fuel worth 80 million shillings. The Grain Milling Council, Mitsubishi pickup, double cabin, worth 190 million shillings. I think we had read this before. KK Food Products, sweet potatoes, 40 bags. Bananas, 43 bags. Innovative Research and Development. I think we had read this. Applicator manual dusters, 1 kilo. We had read this one. Detailed cleaning services, hand washing soap, 300 liters. Jig, 300 liters, hand sanitizers. Spice Diana. Bunches of bananas, 100. Daman Samra. Dex hoods, 30 pieces. Ring, 30 pieces. Ringer, 30 pieces. Uganda National Oil Company, examination gloves, 33,200 pieces. Uganda Lodge, 3-part different hematology analyzer, semi-automated biochemistry analyzer. AAR Health Services, face masks, 77 boxes. For How International, bottles of garlic essence oil, 60 bottles. Medical masks, 300 pieces. Light Point Movie Company, short movies, skills sensitizing Ugandans on how to keep healthy, safe and handle something. Deflexer and Father Saint Santa Uganda, 50,000 shillings. Spouts of Water Limited, ceramic water purifiers, 2,900. Council of Pharmaceutical Society of Uganda, hand sanitizers, 300. National Eugenia maize flour, 0.4 of a ton. Alfil Millers, wheat flour, 100 cartons, sanitizer, 160 liters. Zeu Agro rice, 5 tons. Betway Uganda, the Rangers rice, 3.3 tons. KK Fresh Produce Exporters Limited, Matoke, 3.5 tons. Sweet potato, 3.4 tons. Avocado, 1.5 tons. To gain Evifa Rogers, fresh fruits, 5 tons. Those are mangoes, pineapples, watermelon, oranges, lemon, cucumbers, avocado, tangerine. Sekanyoria mineral water, 188 cartons. Ruparelia Foundation food portions, 4,000 pieces worth $20,000. Guide Leisure Farm chicken broilers, 500 chicken, I think. Call them animals. Maka Medina Tours, Maka. Oh, Maka Yerusalem. Medina Tour and Travels, water tanks, 10. Plascon Uganda, washing soap, 19 tons. Instant Ventures video conferencing solution to Prime Minister's office. Okay, they solve your problems to teach you how to video conference. Simbaland Industries, toilet papers, 32 cartons, serviettes, 5 cartons. 200 Park Electronics solar electric chargers, 300 pieces. 3D services, hand wash, 400 liters. Chickstart Uganda silver fish powder, 500 tins. Stephen Ogwang, sensitizing song to rally people to fight, sensitization song to rally people to fight COVID. Stephen Ogwang. Apoyo Ogwang. Where Maber?
He sang it with his family. He sang it with his family. And it's quite a very good song. Yes.
Premier sanitizers, Premier distillers, sanitizer 5,000 liters. Lions Clubs of Uganda, sanitizer 4,000 liters. Ardeco Industrial sanitizer 375 liters. Narivega Grace liquid soap 200 liters. Voluntary sensitization services. Bale David ICT innovation for mobilization of population. Buyanja, my roots. Must be somewhere from Buyanja. Liquid soap 30 jerry cans, 15 pieces. Amagezi Innovation and Skymark, face shields 50 pieces. Uganda Nurses and Midwives Leaders, think tank. Face masks 200 pieces, gloves 3,100 pieces, surgical masks 1,500 pieces. Chinese Union of Uganda, face masks 7,700 pieces, medical coats 8,000 pieces, temperature guns 40 pieces. Be informed Uganda, application for COVID relief management. Rack mount, call center equipment donated. Communication Development Foundation, call center equipment donated. AfroCell, call center equipment donated. What is call center equipment? They will give you the details. UTL, data and staff plus equipment donated. Maria Stops, Uganda, call center equipment plus film van. Samang Solutions, Motorola UHF radios worth 500 million shillings. KPMG, Pro Bono Financial Management Services worth $200,000. Pro Bono means what? Free? Mm-hmm. Gateway bus services. It's not clear.
They are the ones transporting our workers from hospital to their places free of charge.
Which workers?
Different workers, even in regional referral hospitals.
medical workers.
Yes, they fuel the buses and they dedicated specifically for this.
Okay. Loans, Forex Bureau, money transfer, 3.8 million shillings. Maize flour, 2.4 tons. Haki oils, 3.75 million shillings. Baptist International Mission of Uganda, 3.6 million. Mission Venture, 3.4 million shillings. Uganda Veterinary Association, 3 million shillings. 2 million to District Veterinary Office. SDK Engineering, 2.7 million shillings. Uganda Association of Prosecutors, 2.2 million. Senana Hypermarket, 2 million shillings. Rutamaguzi Semakula, MP Nakasike South constituency, 2 million shillings. Fred Oporot, Vice Chairman, NRM Diaspora, 2 million shillings. Fred, the same. He has contributed twice. 4 million. 2. Dr. Kateverira Amoti, 1.5 million shillings. Adam Dungu for the Red Haji Ibrahim Dungu, 1 million shillings. Munubi Birora, 1 million shillings. Honorable Sinka Tongere, 1 million shillings. Besor Baptist Ministry International, 1 million shillings. Dr. Robert Sebunya, Senior Presidential Advisor, 1 million shillings. Ambassador Johnny Muhindo Mutahi, 1 million shillings. Mare Kamya, NRM Chairperson, Boston, 1 million shillings. Hamida Chibirige, 1 million shillings. Gospel Light Baptist Church, Kansanga, 1 million shillings. Open Door Baptist Missions, 1 million shillings. Architect SLA, 2 million shillings only.
Another 250 remaining for next time.
Oh, okay.
There were actually more than 500 the friends that have saved, but you can't bring all of them.
No. Okay. Okay, the questions?
Thank you, Excellency. We want to thank you for this world leadership during this very challenging time. Your Excellency, we also want to thank you for the assurances to the public that we're in this war together to win it. And they have listened. We have been getting feedback from all radio stations around the country, and we want to share them with you, Your Excellency, for you to understand what they're going through. Thank you, sir.
Okumu from Pabo in Amoro District. Mr. President, we thank you for the good work you are doing for the country and for the people of Uganda. There is food distribution going on in Kampala areas, but most of the town people, even others from Kampala, have come back to the villages here with us. We have nothing to eat. They have helped us and we have eaten everything in the house. We now have nothing. Is it possible to have this food distribution also in the villages?
Webale mnonga president amazina ganje nibanyeta cyo mugisha Harriet ndiyo mutuze wisinziro kikagate ekibuja cyanje kikwatirine na boda emitano ntureba mukacinga konka hariho abatanzania bakwije mu ihangomu abakwija kurisiza kunu bakora bahamugera gwa kagera kandi Tanzania ntureba burwire nubugumana bweyongera bwashisha bwizire mwaja kuteraho buryo kikureba ngo abarisa abana n'abantu abakobana biza batari barisa tubatwisa burwire we bare mnonga president
ni ari o ant la girba hotel le ko ne kan la jere kire kan no ni gen ai ho ko hardware now to when what him right ko to sa ni ke cho.
Mr. President, I am a builder, and my advice would be, if possible, allow the hardwares to operate only at a specific time so that we collect materials and we take it to our building sites so that we continue surviving on the money we get from the site.
Amazina Ndinyombi Muhammadi, chairman wa Mbara Central Market. His Excellency natungomugisa gogamba ni wasimu nimbanza nabebaza omugumu gukora kuyokanga ihanga mwatebekana saje kurwanisendo areji. Hati nyowenka kibuzo cyanje kiri aha cyabasubuzi. Mushize ngo abo butari turaremu kandi hundi heshaheji. Konka arimo abo butari baguze myenda kandi benda kuraramo baguruzo mu butari. Kitaye kintu kitambara kizana mu akedi umuntu anaenda kurara akedi haguruzaho to kumwikiriza kaguruza akedi ejo nano guze myenda kararo mu butari akagurizamo emyenda ya kurara mu katari nani kushawangu ushiteka tekeo ore kura kitwaje ekya kabiri ne kya bank shayeji iri tuteka mu interest eteka na penalties na shangu mugamena ba banka nkabasubiza kikora penalties bazireke na interest banze bajemereze kutatandike kora bakatandike bakore ki babiteke magwati ne yabana nibenda kuzayishomera tineyo ukuze kusasura za bankies tineyo kuza kusasura za rent hati bateka mu interest yejo baza kuba bakenda munonga so banze bajemereze interest na penalty ko turaheze tubone kwiza kutandika tuyekomere
yala mano yogano
ebo akakaro gwang Simon lo tubur
yeso gwang Simon
addo pengi seteti bona ngisinga president ebe kasi kwana ejam itaka na donbe nono ko Uganda owalo adaka de enye sola de kale tubu nyo anye kana peta kona na ibole pesi tukino sabekisha no Uganda mambo bitunga akere to ibo kinga beje kada nye kana peta ebeta kon tugana sipoki.
Your Excellency, this is Ogwang Simon from Tubur Soroti is asking, what plans does government have to re-equip hospitals and all our medical facilities so that we are able to manage this kind of disasters when they strike again?
Nayare kini anyina be dere pana kerelwe foto kinga paikino buke cengina ya izolemne te do dere pana ya nyama tanguluni na uniet agwelo na chuma na unu akere twa kera chute dwe oreria o chalo ineno someron angini tukoto ya chuma ngini.
Your Excellency, Ochigo Francis Fred is from Katakwe is asking, is it possible to equip all schools and classrooms with the testing kits and temperature guns so that it is done within the school? And then two, why should food distribution be concentrated within Kampala and Wakiso only, yet hunger is striking all over the country as a result of this COVID-19 lockdown?
Yes, I like in Steven.
Your Excellency, is called Aloikin Stephen from Soroti. He's asking three questions. One is saying, why don't we save the money Electoral Commission is organizing for elections in 2021 and we use it to fight the pandemic, that is coronavirus. Two, other countries have shown us examples whereby civil servants have accepted to cut down their salaries. Is Uganda following suit? The third question is, why hurry to open up if the pandemic is still around?
abeseri huzibande isoma ikuta kusomera ku radio yino kane iyete okane mushalo ngebuda ndakubanale nga bifo bifata ilata isi network ye radio hamba bulaisa isi TV tihalisa kana noe sha kaniyote wari
amaina gange neze basalirwa amanirwanga mama Smaya
aye ndikuuza pulezidenti bwaife bw'abaidye ng'atandise okwogera bana abantu balwaire mu byalo olw'embeera eneeriwo olw'ekisenge kino ekiriwo aye bannaife aba banka kaire abantu kuuminga mu bitundu ebitali bya nsambo ndala bw'abatoolayo ssente ku byalooni bali kubabanda ate abantu tebali kukola abantu balina ebirwaire ebitali bya nsambo ndala abantu batemewaka bali mu lockdown sebo Mr. President tuli kuwegairira obe nikyokola kuku ku nsonga eyo ogemere kuku abantu obe nkyotereza mu kawu ababanka abo obe nikyobako abannaife abo basooke baleke kuba ate batekolela kuba abantu tebali kukola olw'ekyo n'ekiriyo kyagema wona wona.
Your Excellency. The Lugisu lady was talking about the new educational materials that are being shared on TV, on radio, and on social media. She was wondering how the children who are in far-to-reach districts in the mountains in Bududa are going to access these materials, given that they don't have TVs and they don't have internet.
They don't have radios.
Radios, some of them have, some don't. It's really a mountainous area. Its network is really bad.
I didn't hear.
The Msoga one, you thanks. It's one of the questions that has come up also.
Okay, these are all. We answer this.
Yes, Your Excellency.
Okay. Now the food distribution. Why only in Kampala? You see, I want to appeal to the Ugandans. Don't compete for this food just because you think you need to get a share. This is really because you see, Ugandans, we know how we live. In my villages there, in Ntungamo, for instance, people may not have money, and we have been struggling with them, but they normally grow their own food. Like the people in Noya, the one who was asking me from Noya, or was from the north. Pabo agriculture is what? Poor. Tia poor ma bear. So there's no reason why the people of Pabo should say we don't have food because of corona. Because corona has not attacked crops. If it was a locust, you could say yes. If the locusts had got there, you could say they ate our crops. But this is corona, which is attacking some few noses in Kampala. So how can you say it has attacked the food also? So I think this is a mentality of thinking that we should also get the food, we should also get the food, we should also get the food. We are also entitled because we are Ugandans. But this is not the issue of entitlement. This is for the ones, because our society has been changing, there are people who left villages and came to the towns, and in the towns they do the day-to-day work. Somebody drives a border, and because he has operated a border that day, he's paid. If he doesn't drive it, he's not paid. This is really the person we are talking about, to assist with food for a limited period, not also for forever. But you the person in Pabo who has been growing rice, Because in Pabo they grow rice, they grow cassava. But I think the point they raised was some of the Kampala people left and went and joined them. I think he made that point, that they were invaded by the town people. So they have sort of overwhelmed. That one we shall have to study. But really, I think, do not think that, because we want this money to do, this is your money. It's not my money. Me, I have my cows and I know how to plan for them. But this money of the government is your money. It is yours. It's not my money. So if you decide to plan for it badly, and say we eat it, and then we buy food, Of course, the food producers will get money. The food producers will get money. But that means we shall not. I want to work on that road. You have seen in Pabo what I have done for the road from Mugulu to Bibia to the border. Yo Maber, Tin Maber, Tin Yo Maber. The road there is good today. Now, if we don't squander the money on buying food and so on, we can work on the road from Pabo to the other new district there, inside, to Amuru. Yeah. Yes. No, going direct, not to Oramnyung. No, going direct to Orwal, to Pabo, to Rhino Camp, to the river. This will be much better for Pabo than just cham that we all the money we just ate it. You should know this, you people. This is your money. It's your money. It's not my money. But I advise that we only feed the ones. Even, of course, even in the villages, I think there may be there some of the children who are shifted to Guru town, who are no longer doing agriculture. Maybe those ones could get food. But the one who is already on his farm, like in my farm in Ntungamo, then I say you give me food or so, because no, I don't think it is correct. Now, so that is the issue. Of course, we can spend all the money on food and forget about the roads, forget about the schools, forget about development, the health centers. But in my opinion, I think it would not be wise. Now, the people from Tanzania who are grazing cows, that's what the one in Isinyiro was saying, that people are coming from Tanzania and grazing cows. How are they? Because that means your leaders are the ones allowing them. Your leaders are the ones allowing them, because if somebody comes with cows are not a handkerchief which you can put in your pocket and nobody sees. Cows are open. Everybody can see them. That means your leaders are the ones who are allowing them to come and graze those cows. Unfortunately, I didn't get your, but she said her name was Chomisha. If we could get her contact, then we could check who are those Tanzanians. Nani, Sabit, you better check on that one. Chomisha, because she's talking of cattle keepers from Tanzania who come and graze in Uganda and then go back. Then somebody brought a new idea, said, you people, why don't you open the hardware shops so that we buy cement and other things and we continue working. We are going to study that. Because you see, the idea, Ugandans, was let's minimize movement. That's why we only said food. Other things can wait, but eating cannot wait. So that's why we said only food. It was to limit the numbers. It's not that we didn't know that hardware was important. No. We wanted to have the fewest number of people moving up and down. But we shall study your idea. We shall study it in our committee, and then next time when I speak to you, I'll speak about it. Then somebody was talking about the markets for textiles. He was saying that you allow the people of the food to sleep near their food, not to go home. Why don't you do the same for the cloth, for the textile people? You see, that time, one of the problems we had was that, like Owino Market here had so many people. I think it was like 70,000. Now, so the issue was not you just sleeping near what you are selling. It was too many of you staying near one another when we are not sure who is sick. Was very dangerous. So the debate was, whom do we leave in the market? That's why we said, all you people, because of the numbers, go except the one of food. Because the one of food, we can't survive without food. So it was not just the sleeping near what you are doing. It was also the numbers, to reduce the numbers. Bank penalties, I will not tolerate that. I will not tolerate the banks penalizing people. Any bank which puts penalties at this stage, we are not going to accept it. The Bank of Uganda will talk with them, and we cannot accept that, because penalize people, why? They have not refused. You can say that they pay back what they were supposed to pay and the interest, but not penalties. That one we cannot accept. Re-equip the hospitals. Yes, we are going to re-equip hospitals, but even when we re-equip them, we don't recommend that every health center deals with this epidemic. Because this is a specialized problem. In each area we have what they call a hub, a contact point. Like in the case of Teso, can you mention some? Because the one was asking me in Ateso, which are some of the hubs. The minister will get time and go on the radio and tell you where are some of those hubs, so that the one who is specializing in this particular, because this is not a general medical problem, it is a particular problem. It's like Ebola. Like, we don't have many of these. It's just Ebola. Which other one? It's a special problems. Marburg. So it's a special problem. That's why you see people dressed up as if they are going to the moon. Can you do that for all the sicknesses? People will die. The doctors will die from. I don't think it is very comfortable to be in those very, very. I think it is very, very, very hot. They can't work in that. So this is a special problem. It can only be handled by, and that's why we say, even when somebody is sick, don't remove him from the home, leave him in the home, so that the people from the hub is the contact point for that zone, are the ones who come to take a sample from him, and when they find he is positive, they will come in their special ambulances and take him away. And even when he dies, they are the ones going to bury him. They are not going to allow you to bury him. So this cannot be done by every health center. Testing kits for the schools. Let's hear from the Minister of Health, Dr. Jenna Cheng. You answer that. Can we have test kits for the schools?
Thank you, Excellency. What we are doing in the decentralization process is also assessing capacities of different laboratories all over the country, so that when the test kits for the antibodies become available, we can decentralize them to the different regions. But the schools may not necessarily be testing points. They will be in health facilities, and the schools can access it from there. But what we can have at the schools is a screening, taking temperature and also hearing from the children in the school whether they have flu and cough. And then the nearby facility people can remove the samples. Thank you.
We shall have to see when the antibody test is available. We shall have to see how much it costs and see whether it is good to test everybody. Because now, because of the test kits are not enough and they are still expensive, that's why we wait for the one who has got signs. It's the one we test, the one who has got signs of a problem. Somebody from Tubur was asking also why are you only putting food in Wakiso and so on. That is the same answer like I gave the other one. Why haven't public servants cut their salaries? That's a good question. Here, you normally, your people normally pay me some little money. They pay me 3.6 million shillings. Then the NRM takes 20% of that. Thank you very much for asking me that question. Here and now, the other remaining 2.7, I will tell Janet to accept 1.4. Is it half of the 2.7? Is what? Okay, 1.4. I will instruct Janet to sign each month. Because she's the one who receives that money, I never follow up with that. I will tell her to sign 1.4 million each month to the fund. Thank you so much for asking that question. And I start now by 50% of Janet's money. What remains from the NRM, because the NRM takes 20% of the 3.6 million. So civil servants and the political leaders, you have all heard now. The people asking you, they are asking you, say now, we hear other people are cutting salaries, how about you? Now, here you are. And really, we can raise quite a bit of money because these public servants, how many? They are like 700,000? 480,000. So if they cut, thank you so much. Another one is saying, why do you open when the disease is still there? I totally agree with you. We are going to study very carefully. That's why I didn't go today much of what we are planning to do, because I want the group to first study. And when I speak like around the 2nd there or 3rd of May, that's when I will have our actions. but we shall take into account why do you open for because what I did not talk about, but this I will talk about that time, because the real solution is to have a vaccine. A vaccine. Once a vaccine is developed, then all these other measures will no longer be necessary. But before that, we need to survive in the guerrilla way, the way we are surviving now. The educational materials, I think I will ask the people of education, they are not here now. I will ask them to answer the question of the lady from Bugisu about the educational materials, how it can reach those who don't have. I hope somebody captured her contact to know what she was saying. What was it? Who are the ones who are not reached? Is it because they don't have a radio? Or what? Then the last one was also again speaking about the one who was speaking in Usoga, although I didn't hear very well, the sound was not very clear. But those who had said she was talking about the problem of interest rates. Yes, the interest rates may be there, but we shall not allow penalties or even a delayed payment, because people are delayed to pay because you know why. They are not working. When you gave them a loan, you knew what sort of people they are, and you know how they are earning their income. And if you know that they are not earning, how can you penalize them? If they lose, then you also lose. You also lose. We are not going to allow you to victimize our people for something that is beyond their control. Thank you very much, Ugandans. I see you next time.